So here we are with standard B, which is just Pythagorean theorem. When I'm looking at this diagram, I notice I have two sides here. We want to find BC. Okay, so that's the side we're trying to find. If I can find BD, then I can find BC. What I notice is this is 5 and this is 4, so this is one of the Pythagorean triples. So I know BD has to be 3. Then I look at the second triangle right here. I have a leg. I'm trying to find another leg, and I have the hypotenuse. So I know 1 squared plus BC squared is equal to 3 squared. So 1 plus BC squared is equal to 9. Subtract 1, subtract 1. BC squared is equal to 8. So BC is equal to radical 8. Now we have to make sure that we simplify. So 8, you can do your prime factorization. If you do the tree, that's fine. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And so I'm going to have a 2 on the outside because that's something I can take the square root of. What's left that didn't have a pair was a 2 on the inside. Okay. Number 7. An 18-foot ladder leans against the wall of a building. The base of the ladder is 9 feet from the building level on the ground. How many feet up the wall to the nearest tenth of a foot is the top of the ladder? So that's what we're trying to find here. Now you can do Pythagorean theorem. Something that you might notice is that the side is half of the hypotenuse. Okay, so that could be that 36, that is that 30-60-90 relationship. Anytime a side is half of the hypotenuse, it's a 30-60-90. So the other side is going to be 9 radical 3. But let's go through this anyway, using Pythagorean theorem. So this is going to be 9 squared plus x squared is equal to 18 squared. 9 squared is 81 plus x squared. 18 squared is 324. Okay, I subtract 81, subtract 81. I have x squared equals 243. X is equal to the square root of 243. We simplify 243. 2 does not go into 243, but 3 does. 81 times 3 goes into 24. 8, 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 81, 27 times. 3 goes into 27, 9 times. 3 goes into 9, 3 times. 3 goes into 3 once. And so what I see is I have 2 pairs of 3's out here. So this is going to be a 3, a 3, radical 3. And so x is equal to 9 radical 3. And again, what you can recognize, so this is 9 radical 3 here, is this is that 30-60-90. If this is half, then this other side has to be your short side times radical 3. So recognize that anytime a leg is half the hypotenuse, it's always going to be a 30-60-90 every single time. Half the hypotenuse, not half of the other leg, but half of the hypotenuse. Okay, so this is moving on to converse of Pythagorean theorem. So this is C. Okay, so I look at this and it says, do the sides form a right triangle? So we have 12 squared plus 12 squared should be equal to 17.4 squared. So you square each of them. 144 plus 144 is equal to 17.4 times 17.4 is 300. 2.76 is 288 equal to 302.76. Okay, no. And then you explain, no, if they did, then the square of the longest side would be equal to the sum of the squares of the two shorter sides. And that was not the case. Number 9 says determine whether each of the measures can be the sides of a triangle. If a triangle can be formed, say whether it's acute, obtuse, or right. So you go through 12 squared plus 16 squared is what to 20 squared. Okay, always make sure that your C value is your longest side. But even before that, it says can they be the measures of the sides of a triangle? So the thing that you have to see is 12 or is 20 less than 12 plus 16? That was from, I think it was unit 3. Is 20 less than 28? Yes, so it is a triangle. Okay, then I do 144 plus 256 is what to 400? Well, 400 is equal to 400, so this is a right triangle. Number 10, same thing here, is 32 less than 16 plus 30, and we know that's right, 32 is less than 46, so it is a triangle. So I go through into Pythagorean Theorem. Is 32 squared is what to 16 squared plus 30 squared? So 1024 is what to 256 plus 900? 1024 is what to 1156? Well, 1024 is less than 1156, so this is going to be an acute triangle. Okay, number 11, is it a triangle? Is 6/5 less than 2/5 plus 4/5? Is 6/5 less than 6/5? No, so this is not a triangle. So make sure you look for that first because that can help. Okay, so this one's a little bit tough without a calculator to determine if it's a triangle. I look at this right here. Radical 2 is about, so this is around, so you have to think, radical 2 is around 1 point something small. Radical 7 is it's close to 9, so I'd say it's like close to 2.5. So first thing I determine is which is my longest side. Well, radical 2 times 2, that's going to be, again, it'll still be 2 point something. 2 radical 7, well, that's going to be about 2 times around 2.5. Is that going to be bigger than 6? No. So 6 is my longest side. So I say, okay, 6, is 6 less than 2 point something plus around, like, let's say 2 times radical 7 is around 5 point something. I don't know what it is. So, and this is around 2, this is around 5, and so it is less than. Okay. And then we do Pythagorean theorem trick. What is 6 squared is what to 2 radical 2 squared plus 2 radical 7 squared. So 36 is what to? Well, 2 squared is 4, radical 2 squared is 2. 2 squared is 4, radical 7 squared is just plain old 7. 36 is what to 8 plus 28. Or 28. Yeah, 8 plus 28. So 36 is equal to 36, so it is a right triangle.